What's up, people? Class is in session. This is Professor Ganymede. In this video, I'm going to be doing another analysis of Dhak's recent gameplay. He is a pro Lucio player for Selfish, and it's going to be a Grandmaster game. And this game is going to be an amazing defense he has on Numbani. And this is like goals. Like, this was such an amazing defense, even after the changes to Lucio. Like, I've read so many people asking, like, after the changes, how do I play Lucio? I'm having problems, with the changes incentivizing a more aggressive play style. And this is how I'm going to be teaching my viewers how to play the game. It's kind of like a bodyguard slash firefighter playstyle slash ambulance playstyle, whatever you want to call it. This is what I'm going to be teaching. This was pretty good, and this is of course opposed to the more aggressive, far more aggressive DSP Stanky's playstyle, which is kind of get up in the enemy's face. This one is more of a team-oriented playstyle, and I think this one is going to be more accessible to more people. So let's just get into it. Let's break it down. As normal, I have muted the sound so you guys can just focus on my voice here. So let's see what Dhak does on this defense. This is actually really, really, really good. All right, so he just kind of stays on the high ground and shoots down at the enemy. He moves with his team, moves behind his right heart. He goes immediately for that Lucio McCree stuns him, and then he heads straight for that Ana. Now, he does move away from the Ana because Winston runs the reinforcement. He gets back on the point to join his team. That person that Winston went after was pretty much dead. But now that he regrouped his team, they were able to just quickly collapse on that Winston. And then he moves in to try to peel for his own Winston that went to go attack the backline supports, the Ana and the Lucio. But that Winston went a little too far, so he wasn't able to peel quickly enough to save him. But he still was able to hold the point. Now, he went and got his Winston and wanted to go taxi him. Immediately, look at the prioritization he's doing. He's prioritizing the Ana and the Lucio in the back just to disrupt their heals. And then Winston again goes ham. But the thing is, with Lucio and Ana together, like, he's not going to be able to do anything against both of them. So they end up losing the point. And he eventually backed off as soon as he saw his Winston was going to die. But it was too late. The enemy team had already taken the point by then. Now, here is where it actually gets really, really good. So that was his team losing the point. This game is actually really close. You see here that it's not, it's not a stop. Like, the enemy team is actually really good. This is as far as they got it. So let's see what he does here. Yeah, that Tracer, I don't know what the hell that Tracer was doing. That Tracer just ran into suicide. He used the speed buff to just run it in. And here's I want to pause. So we see that he uses the speed buff to just run in. I want to pause here because why would he want his team to move in? Like, that was a very aggressive push he did with that amp on the speed. That's because in order for this payload to move and actually get to the next checkpoint, it has a very long way to go. And this is actually a really good area to fight in, simply because that means that if they lose a fight, then they have time to regroup and take another fight before it would get to the other checkpoint. So he actually put this team to move forward so they can hold it here and stop the fight and stop the payload and make sure they fight here at least once. And they actually end up pushing the enemy team back. The enemy team has a Winston. And now, because they have a little advantage and won that team fight, you'll always see Dhak pushing forward with the speed buff to try to pick off any stragglers just to stagger the enemy spawn a little bit more. Now, here is really nice. So we see that Winston jumps in. Winston jumps in over here, and immediately Dhak activates that speed app right here, and he pulls his team backwards so they can cut out the Winston. And because Winston jumps in and his team is all the way back here, he's going to find it really hard to get reinforcements. So they pull back so they can focus the Winston and break his shield. But Genji runs in, and you'll see Genji coming in very soon here. But man, he's already got the sound barrier. He actually calls for his Ana to move towards him. He switches the speed buff, hits the knockback on that Genji, and then switches this target to the Winston, who is the more immediate threat. And then once Winston's there, he switches to the Roadhog, who is the next immediate threat. After the team fights one, he pushes forward and gets the staggered kill on the Ana with the speed buff. That was actually really good cooldown management on his part. And the entire time, he didn't run off and do his own thing. He was with his team, moving with this team like a unit. That even with the new buffs, the new buffs / nerfs / changes to Lucio, he's still able to move with his team, even with the 10 meters. Now, they get the nano boost on the Winston, and he uses the speed up again to disengage from the Winston. Peel for his Reinhardt. Ana puts a lot of heals on the Reinhardt, but then he moves forward and gets a knockback on the enemy team, the Peel. And that Reinhardt is able to live because of that, and they were able to pull it back in. But because he's looking around, because he's trying to protect his team, he was able to turn around and see that Tracer was on his Ana and actually go ahead and try to do a little bit of reinforcement. And they were able to hold it once more. All team-oriented play here. And now he's just trying to get his little, try to charge his ultimate with his damage from high ground. Now, the reason he engaged here because he actually engaged with the enemy Winston. So you'll see here that the enemy Winston goes in, he moves in, puts the speed up again on his team in the back so they can catch up with the Winston, push in, and then he pushes forward to actually knock back the two supports, the Lucio and the Ana, and then another person, I forgot who it was. And so he effectively split the enemy team up by speeding his team forward and then pushing forward himself just to get a knockback, but not to go super ham. You saw when he did the knockback, he pulled back himself just to make sure he didn't die, because he had already at that time accomplished this goal of splitting the enemy team up. So he did a lot there. Now he tried to drop the beat, but so that was actually pretty sick. So he actually tried to drop the beat as the enemy team came in, but he got slept. And then Reinhardt came in for the charge, but then his Ana slept the Reinhardt right before he actually got knocked to the wall. So that was super clutch. And he was just praising his Ana for that clutch move. That was really nice to see. That was so nice. And then with the McCree ultimate, he's able to clean up there. Now notice this here. So notice how the Reaper is on his team. He moves in, hits him with the knockback, and he knows the knockback is going to force him in cooldown. And so because he knows Reaper is going to is back there and it's going to take so long to get back to the team, get back to the fight, he actually switches and turns around and sees if he can find another target to control or another person to help while he's waiting for his knockback cooldown. Because in the meantime, he thinks he can find something more efficient. Let me just rephrase this. He thinks he can find a more efficient use of his time. But basically, when his knockback comes off cooldown, he'll go back to the Reaper. But in the meantime, when that 4 seconds is cooling down, he's going to see what he can do with that 4 seconds somewhere else. And then he comes back and gets the knockback and then chases down the Reaper there. So that was actually a really good match of the cooldown. I just want to reiterate, he knocked him back, knocked Reaper all the way over here. Knew Reaper was going to take some time to get back to the fight. And while he was waiting for the 4 second cooldown, he went to go find something else to do. And once he saw that 4 second cooldown was coming back and he was going to get his knockback, he turned around to go put another knockback on the Reaper. So just really good management, really good shifting of priorities, making sure he's aware of everything. That's really good map awareness. Just making sure you're looking around and seeing who else needs your help. So really good there, really good. Dhak's a beast. All right, let's see if we can get. I think is it one more fight or do they hold? No, just one more fight at least. Now he's gonna go taxi for his team. Standard stuff there. Getting the speeds, especially in the Ana, because Ana is just so important to have in that next fight. So the fight, see, now the Ana's there right when the fight starts, as opposed to being too late. The Reinhardt moves in. He moves in. We switch to speed. Notice how he's pretty much on speed this entire time until he needs to amp a heal. That's when he's on heal. But while he's fighting, he is on speed the entire time to give his team that speed advantage. Make them move faster, make him be able to disengage faster, make him able to get into the position he wants to get into that much faster. So he's just right behind his tank, right in the middle of his team, right up there, just being whatever they need him to be. And also sometimes going in, doing some harass, doing some damage, and focusing down targets as well. And now they popped the nano boost, so he's going to switch to speed again. He's going to run up, get behind the Reinhardt shield, shoot that Reinhardt in the back. Now he knows Reaper's coming. Pretty obvious knockback on the Beyblade. That was actually a pretty obvious that Reaper is going to be on an ult. And he was looking out for it, so he was right there next to his team, available to get that knockback on the Reaper, who would have otherwise wiped his entire team, and they were able to take this game. And he's on, what, 18-player kill streak. So, oh my god. So that was just an amazing hold, amazing play all around. The Hawks part, again, Grandmaster game. I think he's 4,300 in this game. Like, jeez. This guy's a beast. Like, this is why I very much prefer this style of play. Even when you aren't coordinating with your team, just being able to deny the enemies whatever the enemy wants to do to you, denying that Reaper Beyblade, denying that Tracer, denying that Genji denying that Winston, just going around and peeling for your team, and sometimes running in, getting some damage, running behind that Reinhardt shield, getting damage on. Speeding your team forward, and then running forward, and then knocking the enemy supports away and separating the enemy team. There's so much things you can do without having it, going full ham and trying to be a pseudo tracer, or maybe a full tracer because of the buffs. There's so many things you can still do without having to basically 1v1 all the time. So there's still great team play that can be had with these new Lucio changes. So you better believe that, guys. This has been Professor Ganymede. Hopefully this was useful. Thanks for watching, guys. Class dismissed.